Call to order the regular session of Gladstone City Commission. First order of business will be the invocation said by Commissioner Madden, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. All rise, please.
Shall we pray? Heavenly Father, we are thankful for the opportunity to meet tonight to discuss the city's business. And as we look at the year 2013, Father, may you give us that wisdom and discernment to meet our challenges and to seize our opportunities. And Father, just be with us tonight and be with our community. Help us to grow and to get better. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It's been so long, I almost forgot what to do.
Just like riding a bike, it'll come back.
Yeah. Next order be roll call, please.
Mayor Hunter,
Here.
Commissioners Gay,
Here.
Commissioner Mackey,
Here.
Commissioner Mattinen,
Here.
Commissioner Olson.
Here. Okay, everybody's here and accounted for. Next item will be public comment. Want everybody to get up at once? Okay. No public comment. Next item will be the consent agenda. We have the City Commission regular meeting minutes of December 10, 2012, the DDA regular meeting minutes of November 20, 2012, and the EDC regular meeting minutes of December 11, 2012.
I'd like to offer a couple corrections on the City Commission meeting. We adjourned at 12:08 a.m. as opposed to p.m.
I think we were all hoping it was PM.
Yeah, we were hoping it'd be p.m. DDA, we have to honor our mayor by spelling his name correctly.
Adrenaline.
Where, let's see.
Did they forget the B in dummy?
No. And then just a question on the EDA meeting. Number 6, public comment. The new facility that they were referring to at the school is what facility?
Bus facility right across the alley.
Oh,
Remember when we had that before us
Yeah.
recently?
Okay,
Financial
that's-
officer of schools showed up?
Yeah. I thought there was another one they were working on.
Right here.
We're still on DDA?
Yeah, DDA here.
Oh.
New
Okay,
facility.
so that is the bus facility then. Okay,
Correct, right?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
correct.
thank you. With those revisions, I will move that we approve the consent agenda as revised.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and support for the consent agenda with amendments. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Thank you.
All right, next item will be the public hearings. We have none, so we're going to move on. We're going to bypass the unfinished business. Unlike the feds, we actually finish our business. Sorry. We'll move on to new business now. We have the Planning Commission Annual Report.
Renee is not with us tonight. I was just gonna, I was at her planning commission meeting last Tuesday night. It's also later on your agenda too, under planning commission, boards and commission reports, but can I do it now or?
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
No, approval by this board is just informational requirement of the planning commission to produce this annual report. And it just points out, the highlights of the planning commission, how many times they met, how many public hearings they had, what they've approved. Couple interesting things I wanted to point out. Number of building permits in 2012 were 49 as opposed to 33 in 2011 and 28 in 2010, so that's a good sign. The value of construction, that's kind of a funny, number to look at. Not everything, is going to equate to maybe necessarily a high dollar amount, but it does mean, maybe people are putting smaller investments into their homes, so that do require building permits. So that was a good point.
I do see you have demolition 5. Was that demolition of, do we know if those are like demolition from abandoned structures or residents that, do you see Ms. Barrio they're raising? I didn't mean to put you on the spot. Oh,
Value
sure.
there, the two
That's right,
homes there.
That's right.
Those were the two that I can think of. I don't know
There was
maybe
5.
5 of them. It could have been tear down an old garage and put a new one back
Okay.
up, so, yep. I
One
don't
that
recall any
Director Dyer goes
significant
by
ones.
every day is no longer there.
It's now a nice, well, it was a nice green yard. Now it's got a little bit of snow on it.
And on the last page, under budget recommendations, this will, go through the budget process, but she does, point out to the planning commission, few, not real large, but, the codification, very important to continue on that. And then the, master plan revision was supposed to be done during 2012 calendar year, but due to strategic planning, we've pushed this to 2013, so this is definitely a priority in 2013. We have to get the master plan updated, so.
Does that affect our DDA? Is that one of the requirements, making sure we have a master plan in place?
DDA has its own plan.
Yeah.
Does it correlate, mirror?
The DDA plan is part of, or like an appendix of the master
master
plan.
plans for the
So
plan,
it's
okay.
just
So is the rec plan.
rec plan, I think those are the two
Yeah.
plans that supplement the master plan, but.
I know we took a lot of focus on the strategic planning. I just didn't know if the master plan, if this needs to be updated. I don't think it would affect us for any type of grant funding or applying for any grants or anything. Just go off the same master plan.
Right. The Planning Enabling Act requires that it be looked at least every 5
5
years,
years,
so
okay.
the fact that we're a little
Opening
over
it, looking
5
at
is,
it.
yeah,
Okay.
we're still doing okay.
Anything else on that report?
Looks good. Questions from the commission? All right. We'll move on to the next item. Be appoint Mr. Randall J. Peterson to the Gladstone EDC Board. That says me. One of my goals when I took over as the mayor, or was appointed as mayor, I should say, was to, anybody I appointed was to at least make a phone call. And I'll be honest with you, I did not make the phone call after reading his biography. I guess the phone call should only have been welcome aboard to not only First Bank, but to the EDC, because by reading this, there's really no questioning what his capabilities are. So I'm sure all of you read his biography and his achievements. So I think he would be a great asset, not only to the EDC, but also to our local area. So with the consent of the commission, I'd like to appoint Mr. Peterson, Mr. Randall J. Peterson, to the EDC board. Okay, good. So appointed. Now I will call him and tell him, thank you. All right, next item will be the Personal Protective Equipment Written Program. Mr. Lund?
Good evening. Here tonight to have you, have the commission approve the Personal Protective Equipment Program. This program come about through our safety committee and our safety program that we've initiated about 2 years ago. And this is one of the steps of it. One of the programs that has to be implemented. Is there any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Lund?
Yeah, I did have one. How does BBP fit under footwear?
Where is BVP?
PPE, personal protection equipment,
Yeah.
steel toe boots.
Bloodborne pathogens
Oh,
under footwear.
Bloodborne pathogens, that would fall under, like gloves and masks and gowns and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Any personal protection equipment you use for whatever job it is to protect from injury or illness.
Okay, all right. It just wasn't quite. And then light and radiation. I wear safety shoes to keep the light off my feet. I mean, that's kind of what
No, light is basically, would be the linemen with the tinted safety glasses for sparks. Radiation is welding.
like under page 14 is what I'm referring to, foot hazards.
Page 14.
Is this the report you're looking at? Foot hazard, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Actually, these reports here, if we have some other ones actually that we're gonna actually use. They look like this. They're all filled out already. We've already did that.
Okay.
So these reports are basically this in a nutshell, but these are more precise to us. This is kind of a boilerplate.
Sure.
Each department has
Okay.
basically a booklet with all their information and, you know, what they should be using.
Okay.
Barry, is there a checklist per se on each bulletin board in each department so the employee can actually walk up if he seems to maybe be confused a little bit as to what he should be using for the particular project? He can look at it.
It's not on a bulletin board. Every department's got actually a red binder that says safety program and all our bloodborne pathogens, information is in there, personal protection, lockout, takeout, whatever they wanna, you know.
And everybody in every department has signed off that they've read the standard,
Yes.
right?
Well, they've all been to the training, or they should have been to the training, and it's ongoing. I mean, we just,
And you've gotten them to sign off that they have been trained.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like the MSDS sheets. I mean, they're right there next to each other, so everybody should know where they're at. And
I know what we've done in our workplace, just to help the employee a little bit, is to have a checklist on each bulletin board. So if for whatever reason they haven't done that for a while, or maybe have never done that particular job, they can just walk up, take a look at it real
Yeah.
quick. You know, it's just
That's a good idea.
just a thought.
Yeah. But we cover it, you know, too, you know, in our safety trainings and, you know, in the shops too, so. Where it is and what you should be wearing.
I think you did a real good job of balancing responsibility between the employee and the supervisor. That's very well done.
Any other questions for Mr. Lund? No?
Move to approve the program as submitted.
Support.
Okay, a motion is supported by Commissioner Gay. Is there any further questions? Okay, nice job, Barry, putting this together. Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion's carried. And Tom, I see that you're on here as well, sorry. So I guess I have to sign this later? Looks like. Very good. Okay, thank you. All right, looks like he's second in line here. We're moving on to the MDOT contract number 12-5576. Mr. Lund.
This contract is basically because we're doing a forced work account with MDOT. The two jobs actually is, one will start right out here in front of City Hall and go down to 14th Street. It's a complete rebuild of the street, curb and gutter and sidewalk, with installing a small boulevard between the curb and gutter and sidewalk. And the other job basically starts at the railroad tracks down there by the bottom of North 9th Street and goes to Range Drive, basically, where you can turn to go up to the highway or down to Kipling. That's going to be an overlay, a simple overlay, and we're going to install two driveways for Ives Trucking and I think it's Bessie there. A curved driveway for both of them, and get rid of some of that gravel because it's basically one big parking lot down there. And we need to enter in a contract because it is a forced work account. We are basically making some money off the state, so that's what this agreement is on.
We're making money, your reference to that is because some of our personnel is gonna be used
We're,
on it, so.
yes, making money as far as personnel's labor and benefits and equipment.
Is there any questions for Mr. Lund on Commissioner Mackey?
You're probably gonna love this. I would love to see you narrow down this stretch of Delta Avenue like you did on that first block coming off the highway.
It is gonna be narrowed.
Down to that
Not down to that, there will be parallel parking. In order for federal funds, you cannot do angle parking anymore.
Right.
You have to do parallel.
Now, the reason why I'd like to see it narrowed down is I think a narrower street is more cozy. It looks better. A lot of architects will tell you, especially if you're entering into a business district, that it slows traffic down. That it's a whole lot better than a great big wide street. So.
It is, and there'll be probably 7 to 8 foot boulevards there. One nice thing about that is.
So if you're talking about boulevard, you're talking on both sides. So you're
Both
losing a
sides,
total
yeah.
of 14 to 16 feet of width, right?
Yes.
That's good, I think.
And another, which we will be able to plant about 30 trees in there, I think is budgeted in there for.
Even better.
Another nice side about that is, a big issue that's coming up now with stormwater drainage.
Now you got a place to hide it in the boulevard.
Now you got a place to hide it, and I did some calculations, we're looking at 500,000 gallons a year of stormwater that.
Come off of a hard surface, they got no
Sometime.
place to go, yeah? Yeah,
Eventually, we're gonna have to treat. I can
Yep.
see that coming down the.
sure. Good, excellent.
I just have a couple of things, just questions. Is there any type of reconfiguration for North 9th Street? I know we were talking about over at South Bluff Hill area. You said a perfect spot for a roundabout. Is that another location that would be?
North Ninth,
At 4th Avenue, you mean?
No, right,
no.
right where you're going off the
Well,
Kipling
onto the highway.
onto the highway.
That's an issue that actually MDOT had brought up last year when they did the intersection there at the 4-lane and North 4th Avenue North. That's something they're gonna look at in the future.
Okay.
They said that was kind of a intersection on their radar that they would like to do something with.
Okay. And the other one here on Delta, did we look, or is it too costly to look at doing center boulevards? Maybe narrowing the boulevards on the sides and then adding a center boulevards, or is that is that too cumbersome for plowing as well? Kind of like we have in 10th.
As a maintenance issue, it's more.
Okay,
It costs us roughly about $1,100 a block to pick up snow per year.
okay.
On a good, on an average year. I mean, we're looking at about $3,500 less maintenance.
That's a good point. Are you
going
gonna
this
be able to
way.
get rid of snow then onto that boulevard as well, and you won't have to pick it up anymore on that stretch?
Yeah, yes.
Good.
Wow,
Okay.
great.
Yeah,
That's
answers that
expensive,
question.
Oh, absolutely, it's expensive to
We
move
got a
snow
blower and
around.
4 trucks out, that's about
Sure.
$650 an
Sure.
hour.
Okay.
Adds up quick.
Great.
Good. All right, thank you. Anything else from Mr. Lund? No? I'd entertain a motion.
Oh, resolution we need.
I move that we authorize the mayor and clerk to sign the MDOT contract number 12-5576.
Support.
Okay, I have a motion and support. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The motion's carried. Thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda will be the firearms range use agreement. Director Geiger?
Evening, Commissioners. Paul Geyer from Public Safety. Your packet changed a little bit this afternoon. I had a document prepared, which was and is exactly the same as previous year's agreements for use of the Escanaba Range. It changed a little bit this afternoon in that Director Vanderlinden gave me a new copy that doesn't have any expiration date. We've been doing these year to year from usually December I know it's January, but I forgot in December to get this on the agenda. We usually go from December or January 1 through the December 31st of that year to use the range. The new document is the same exact wording. It just doesn't have the part where it's the indemnification for the following dates. It just lists that we agree to indemnify and save harmless the city of Escanaba and the rest of that first paragraph. And it's just the document that I'm asking you to authorize me and the city clerk to sign to provide the city of Escanaba with. There's just no expiration date. Basically, it'll be in effect now until we no longer use the range. We use it 2 to 3, maybe four times a year. If not more.
The wording has changed. Now it's the Department of Public Safety, and previous it was the City of Gladstone.
Yeah, it used to be, it did say this from the city of Gladstone, but it was signed on, it's been signed on by me the previous years.
If I was the City of Escanaba, I'd want the whole city, not just the Department of Public Safety, to indemnify them.
Yep. Well, I can look at getting that changed, I guess. This is
My
just-
recommendation anyways.
Well, if you want, I can get that
Not
that
trying to make
changed.
more work for you, if I was the City of Escanaba, that's the way I would want it worded, so that the whole city is indemnifying them, not just a department.
Well, and if we want, I can still use the old form through December 31st of this year and just get it changed for next year too. It really doesn't.
Well, I think if you're looking for approval of the commission tonight, I think we can give approval.
Yeah. That's basically for Escanaba's benefit, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, it is. I guess the basis of the document hasn't changed other than if we want to have the city of Gladstone or the public safety department, I would agree that to say the city of Gladstone would be better.
And I want you to know right up front, and since this is on all that, I have all the confidence in the world that whatever you do on this, you'll do the right thing for the city. And
Yeah,
I'm not
if-
questioning your integrity at all.
No. If you want to at least authorize me to give me the
Sure.
the authorization to sign the document, I can get the wording straightened out with Director Vanderlinden, and we can go from there.
The biggest thing with the changing of the document was so that we didn't have to go back every year.
Every
It
year,
didn't make
redo it.
sense to go back every year and ask for the approval, so.
We don't have any immediate plans to be out there, say, this week yet. So,
In the nice warm weather?
yeah, so I can get that wording changed if, get it back to where it says the city of Gladstone.
I would move to approve this document and authorize the public safety director to sign on behalf of the city of Gladstone.
Support. Okay, a motion and support. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Thank you.
We should be able to get that changed tomorrow. I know where this document's located. All right, next item on the agenda will be the EVIP number 2, cooperation, collaboration, and consolidation of services.
This is part 2, that's due to the state of Michigan by February 1st. And directions from Department of Treasury are anything we listed in last year's plan. They want to know the status of that. So we had 3 potential agreements listed last year. So in the italics portion under each one, I explained, where we're at, if we've implemented it, if we haven't, what the barriers were. And then we need to list any new agreements that we have entered into or plan to enter into. So the big one I put there would be the cooperation with Escanaba Township for the donation of the land and access to the fire truck and all that good stuff. So, and then on the back, I just put, I don't know if you've driven by there or not, but that's the sign that is at the site right now. Our planning commission reviewed the site plan last Tuesday night. The only recommendation they had was if we could plant some trees as a barrier. Let's see, would that be on the west side of the building between the new building and the existing cemetery, just kind of as a barrier in there. So we're gonna look at our cemetery budget.
South side.
South side? Yeah. look at our budget for next fiscal year and see if we can budget for a few trees to be put in there. Other than that, Planning Commission didn't have a problem with it. The county and Escanaba Township really have all the approvals. You know, they'll be working with us on the water line and sewer line and electric, and everything's moving forward, so. This is our EVIP number 2 plan.
I'd move we approve the attached EVIP 2 plan.
Just a second. I just had a quick question on it. Do you have a feeling for what they're actually looking for?
There's a document that they put out with this one, you know, frequently asked questions. And one of the questions was, well, what if we haven't entered into a new agreement, you know, and we don't plan to? And the response from Treasury was, then you need to explain to us why. You know, is there nothing left to explore, you know? So, I mean, at some point, if there isn't a new plan listed, I mean, I don't know what the point is then.
Because my only my only thing is, you know, you could look at this, I think this is a great achievement, what we've done. You know, of the 4 items, we've moving forward on 2 of them, the other 2 are in the planning or discussion stages. But could someone look at that and say, well, you've only been 50% effective? That's why I was just asking. I didn't know if they'd given you any guidance on what they were specifically looking for. Or
No, I don't know what the ultimate goal is from Treasury on this, you know.
I see.
right now, we've got something we can throw at them.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot we can throw at them, but I just,
I mean, there are all those from last year that you submitted that would still be counting.
No.
No, that was a one-time, tell us what you've done in the most recent past. Those can't be counted anymore.
But if we're still doing them,
You need to enter into new agreements.
new agreement.
New agreements.
New collaboration, new cooperation, new
okay.
consolidation.
I just don't want our money, you know, I don't want the city's money to be held up as a result of someone viewing this as not being, you know, an achievement, because I think it's a great achievement.
I see where you're going with it. I look at it, maybe because I'm cynical, I look at it as a standpoint that it's a way for Lansing to be the parents and us as the kids to say, well, I cleaned my room, can I go play now?
Yeah.
That's just the way I take
Analogy.
it. Well, it's almost like we're being treated like kids.
Yeah.
Are they kind of incentivizing us to slow down and only put 2 or 3 each year?
There's no requirement on how many agreements.
The only other thing that concerns me is if they start to put unpublished guidance as far as doling out the money on this that we don't have knowledge of.
Right.
You know, and down the road, if you know, if funding gets worse or you know the economy gets worse, we could be doing, you know, something like this, and they say, well, you haven't done enough, so you get nothing, and that would be devastating to our budget.
Or the opposite, we could do 6 or 7 things thinking that we could get more funding, and they say, well, that's to be expected of you. You're going to still get your allotted amount.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be
No
very
guidance.
nice, parents, though,
Right.
would it?
No.
Well,
Those
if
would
you don't
be
have
strict.
If you
Very
don't have
strict
rules, if you don't have rules, it's kind of hard to stay within the parameters of the rules.
I think you can expect to see this come at us for at least another 4 years. Guess why? The same
At least
governor for
another-
the next 4 years.
Yeah.
Well, really, at this
Next
point
two.
in time, all we really have is a requirement to
Okay,
send
two
some
more.
paperwork.
Correct.
That's the
Yeah.
only requirement we have.
That's right, it's too bad. You had me scared there for a minute. I wasn't.
I was testing. No, I wasn't testing.
So this is all that's required, though, is just
Yep.
this documentation.
Well, I need to sign a
Sure.
certification.
Yep. But good.
I move that we approve the attached EVIP 2 plan.
That's all we
It's
have.
already been moved and smoke.
That's right, it was.
No, I didn't move.
Hugo.
Hugo moved, supported by Commissioner Olson. Commissioner Gay, I think, was asking for a question when he was.
Afterwards.
After
yeah,
the
that's
support,
correct.
yes.
I should call for question.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion's carried. All right, next item will be the resolution in support of the Delta County's CGAP grant.
Got a letter from Norview, early December, but too late to hit our first meeting in December, and then our second meeting was canceled, so it's before you tonight. I did communicate with Nora through email, letting her know January 14th is our next meeting, because their deadline was December 27th or something like that, and she said, please, continue with it. It wouldn't be too late if we supported it or, whatever we decided on it. So, the county has hired AIS Marketing Incorporated, and I'm sorry if I pronounce your name wrong, Jim O'Loughlin is with us tonight. He is the president of AIS Marketing, if we had any specific questions for him. Looking for the city's cooperation in this project with the county. Since we are, part of Delta County, they need everybody's cooperation to sign the attached resolution of support. My only comment is, I pointed it out here, that basically it could only be used for the project. Our specific information can't be, sold or given to any other company, because if another company calls us and wants our complete assessing database, we charge them for that. Because it's cost, a lot of time and money and effort is put into maintaining our assessment role and all the information, and
So you're looking, the two stipulations are under 1 and 2?
yeah.
Okay.
If that wanted to be read into the motion or whatever, I can work on a, one page, point out number 1, number 2, authorize the mayor and the county to sign it.
Agrees to cooperate in the development of the Delta County Unified Tax Assessment and Equalization System. Are we looking at any additional staff hours?
The county was awarded a grant to do this program, to hire AIS to do a flyover basically, and maybe reassess is not the right word, but
It's not.
But we're not looking at any additional staff hours.
well, that's a question I have for Jim tonight. In what format? We have BSNA, as do most units in Delta County. If we save that file, to a zip drive and give that to him, is that sufficient? Or if we need to, photocopy each record card, that is going to take additional staff time. Either our assessor or somebody
No.
would need to do that.
Actually, I should tell the commission right up, I've met with Mr. O'Loughlin. I represent 4 units in Delta County as their contract assessor, and I've already told him how he can get the information from those units. It should flow seamlessly from the BSNA appraisal and assessment software system that I use for my units, and most units in Delta County use. In addition, we use it at the City of Gladstone. Mr. O'Loughlin was not completely familiar with how assessor's offices works, because that's not the primary focus of his project. But I think we're on the right track as to how we're going to share that information, and I certainly don't envision us having to spend money to gather information for this. Basically what they're going to do is fly over the county, and they're going to tie property information back to a map, so that every parcel in every jurisdiction in Delta County, there are 14 townships, 2 cities, and 1 village, will sit on top of that map, and you can zero in on that parcel, and you can pick up all the assessment information that the assessor has gathered in determining the true cash value of that property. I can see where there would be other uses in the future for that. One of the ones I could see would be law enforcement.
Yeah.
But we already have our own GIS,
Exactly.
aerial layer in our
But
GIS.
our GIS, I've asked that question. Our GIS, I think I said this to you, maybe I didn't. I talked to a lot of people. Our GIS has a need, because we are a city, for more layers of information, which we've developed. We have water system, we have a sewer system, we have an electric system, we have a street system, we have a parks and recreation system, and so forth and so on, which are far more detailed than most townships, which comprise most of the local units in Delta County. They don't have street systems. They've got public roads. They don't have water and sewer systems, et cetera, et cetera. So our GIS was developed for our own internal purposes, because we need that information for other uses. So, 2 related but different subjects.
Did this come, I remember going to a joint governmental meeting where, I want to say, was it Masonville Township?
Yes.
weren't they the pilot county, or the pilot township?
Masonville Township had some deficiencies in their assessment program, and the State Tax Commission recommended that they do a flyover, basically to discover construction that may have taken place that hadn't been
Yeah.
gone out and captured by their assessor. And they found,
There.
apparently found, according to their township supervisor, they found a lot of buildings that had been built and not put on the assessment
Yeah.
roll.
That's right.
So as a result of that, the county felt like they would be helping out the local units of government, the 14 townships, 2 cities and a village, by doing a flyover and comparing what's out there in the records on a per parcel basis versus what they see when they fly over.
This is probably gonna be more helpful to the outlying townships as far as,
So just a copy of our assessing database.
That's all I would be expecting. Anything over and above that, I think the company would have to work with us on. And I think that's what the company's prepared to do. That's what you've told me at a meeting we had for the 4 units I represent, so.
Are we still looking at the stipulations 1 and 2 to go along with the resolution?
Yeah, because they're going to have a full set of our data.
Okay.
I mean, a full set of our
Of our records?
records.
Okay.
Why are they taking those records? What's the objective there?
The flyover is going to tie the parcels that the assessor has maintained on the assessment roll, however many parcels, it's going to tie it back to the flyover, so that you have spatial data. A parcel, if you owned a lot with a house on it, in the assessor's lingo, that is a parcel.
Right,
That parcel will tie back to this flyover.
okay.
And for some reason, I don't see it being a big issue, and correct me if I'm wrong, in the city anyway, but I was, say there was a house and no garage, and the flyover shows a house and a garage, and for some reason it never showed on the assessment or on the parcel.
Your
That would
assessor's
probably
got some work to do.
That would probably, yeah, there's some
So who's
questions
going to
to
do
be
the
asked.
comparing then?
The assessor.
The local assessor?
Oh, absolutely, because there will be a deficiencies report that'll come out. Hopefully there'll be nothing on that report. But I guarantee you there probably will be.
My garage has been logged. I'm good.
We don't want to mention it in public, okay? So, yeah, the assessor would absolutely, if there's buildings discovered that haven't been appraised,
Sure.
and every unit will, there'll probably be some. For every unit, I would, of a local unit of government in Delta County, there's probably going to be something discovered that somebody's going to have to follow up on.
I would see that I guess I could foresee maybe some camps and additions and so on.
That's more
out in
likely,
the-
exactly,
out in the county.
absolutely. Yep.
Well, I think Delta County gained 15,000 in tax revenue per year based on.
I don't think that's correct. We can talk about that some other time.
Oh,
I don't think it's correct to boast about something like that. I just think you're supposed to do your job. You're supposed to go out and discover stuff, so. We'll talk about it some other time.
Is there any other questions, comments, concerns?
do you need a motion? I would move that we support the resolution with the stipulations noted.
second.
Okay, I have a motion supported by Commissioner Olson. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion's carried. Thank you. Good luck. Okay, next item on the agenda will be the Verizon Cell Tower Agreement Amendment. Mr. White?
Good evening. Verizon's one of our customers on our tower. They've been on there for several years. They've taken over Altel. But in any case, they're looking at adding more antennas up there, backup generator, propane tank. They've had to add, or they haven't done any of the work yet, but they need to add some fiber optics and pretty much that type of equipment. So we amended their contract that they had. We checked over all the easements, those seem to be okay. I had them do some load analysis on the tower, not just a general load analysis, but wind analysis also.
For the weight of the items they're placing on the tower.
Yes.
Oh.
I also negotiated a higher monthly rental cost with them for another $150 a month, so it gets at about $850 a month right now. And we'll also have a 2% increase per year on that. Just to finalize this agreement, I need some signatures, one from the mayor and one from the city clerk.
Sorry, go ahead.
We received an email late today, and that's this document in front of you with no change in the purpose or anything of the document, just the blue words changed the first 3 pages. We've printed a clean copy for signatures tonight, but it doesn't change, any of the meaning of the agreement, so,
Wording is all.
yeah.
Yeah. Is there any questions for Mr. White?
I do actually. I was here when that tower was built. It was built by a company and given to us in return for rental, for their ability to rent room on that tower, correct? That's the way I remember it.
Yes, I don't remember the exact terms on that.
Come on, you've been here for 8 years. You gotta help me on this, because I'm not remembering exactly how it worked.
No, it has something to do with about 17 and a half years before this $100-something thousand is paid off.
We didn't build it. Another entity built it and
Telecorp
said,
had
we
put it
will
up.
build this tower and give it to you if you rent a space on it. I can't remember who it was. That's what I'm asking.
Telecorp.
The Telecorp? And how many sites are on that tower that are rentable sites?
Right now, we have, like you say,
No, I'm asking how many could potentially, are they all full?
no.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
No, we had 3 on there. I think it's Cellcom, what is now Verizon, and AT&T. And AT&T, or I think it's AT&T, got off of there a couple of years ago.
So there's 2 on
So
there.
we
and
have a
there's-
level up there, a platform up there that's still capable of adding more service on that.
And there's such rapid change in the technology industry, Yeah. Okay. That's the way I remember it. Somebody built it and said, if you'll rent us some space, we'll build a tower. And we became the owners of a tower.
So it doesn't cost us anything.
I don't know, does it cost us anything?
Not unless we have to fix it someday.
Well, I imagine the tower eventually is gonna come down.
Any other questions or comments for Mr. White?
I think the contract, item number 6, is a new, interesting item that I have not seen in a contract before. Quiet enjoyment.
I've seen that in other contracts.
Oh, yeah.
Don't disturb your neighbors.
Okay.
Quiet enjoyment, yeah, it's different. Anything else from Mr. White? Nice job on negotiation.
Fix-
I move the mayor and the clerk to sign tower agreement.
Support.
Okay, a motion supported by Commissioner Mackey. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion's carried. All right, next item on the agenda will be the appoint QPAD representative. Ms. Falcon?
We received a letter from Lloyd Mathis, the executive director of QPAD, explaining City of Gladstone and City of Escanaba alternate members on the QPAD board, similar to the landfill board. So right now, the City of Escanaba representative, Manager O'Toole, his term is expired. Before that, though, Renee Barron, our community development director, was the city's representative. So now it's coming back to the city again. At my department head meeting, Commissioner Mackey's name was thrown out, and I gave Joe a call to see if he would be interested in serving on the QPAD board. The location of the meetings, I think Renee was mentioning that she didn't attend all the meetings because they cover such a large area and they rotate their meetings. You know, for us to travel that far sometimes wasn't really beneficial, but definitely information that affects the whole county, so we're looking for somebody that maybe had, some time to do that traveling and still attend the meetings, so unless you have another suggestion.
Commissioner Mackey, I'm not putting you on the spot, but are you running again 2013? I think your term is up like mine.
Honestly, I haven't made a decision. I'd probably be leaning that way right now, but who knows? things could change and I could say maybe I don't have time, or maybe I could get really upset. And
Well, the reason I'm asking is I see it's for a 2-year term, was my only reason for
did
asking.
I say something funny?
You
Just
do one
reappoint.
around or whatever, yeah, the seated board, commission would reappoint somebody
Meeting
to fill that
starting,
vacancy.
meeting starting immediately,
They want
April
to,
first.
February 22nd, I see the
March
election of officers.
at their board meeting, yeah.
Okay.
And then the commissioners would take office March 1st.
First, yeah, I saw that, okay. Okay. Any comments from the commission, questions?
I move that we appoint Commissioner Joe Mackey as Gladstone's representative to QCAD.
Support.
We have motion and supported by Commissioner Gay to appoint Commissioner Mackey. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Who should I ask who brought my name?
I don't remember, actually.
This
Was
is a
that
group.
my last department head meeting?
You want a fan list?
Your name
I don't
comes
know if it'd be a fan list.
up- Your name comes up in a lot of discussion.
Wow.
In a good way.
Oh, all right. Next item will be the payment of the bills.
We have bills tonight before us. The sheet in front of you was $60,828.66. We do have one more addition. Hopefully the copy was in front of you. It's
Oh,
underneath
yeah.
it. Since we didn't, our last meeting was early December. We could wait till the next meeting and approve this, but it's already, it's dated December 15th. Jeff's Glass and Window, this was part of the keypad systems on the back doors. They attach the push paddles to the actual door. And then listed on your bills is the Midwest Security, the keypad portion of it. So they kind of go hand in hand. Going through the bills, it looks like a lot. Like I said, just some that haven't been approved with only one meeting in December there. Pretty standard, some inner tubes for the ski hill and the ski tickets, those are annual expenses there. Carpet for the ski hill, stuff for the concession. Bergman Law Office, we did receive the final bill from Attorney Bergman. He represented us in the Northern Michigan Veneer Tax Tribunal case. Total bill there, $3,800. A couple insurance claims on here. One is Delta Door. That was the damaged door down at Public Safety. The car that went through there, and there's one lower down. When the garbage truck rolled on its side, there was another one for Schultz Equipment. That was an insurance claim as well. Other than that, pretty standard bills. So that brings the total of the bills up to $61,708.66. December accounts payable, $155,799.60, and December payroll, $212,675.87. For information.
Any questions from Ms. Falcon?
No, just
Nelson?
curiosity, was the last one there, repair the nitrogen leak in Gladstone T1 transformer? Is that a transformer? It's under equipment fund, is,
It is an electric bill.
Large substation transformer.
what do they have to do to fix a leak like that? If that costs that much money?
Come up from Texas.
Oh.
That was a large part of the bill.
I would say. Okay.
Apparently, when they say there's nothing small in Texas, that includes bills.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So does that stay in the in the equipment fund, or is that?
No, it's an electric fund bill.
Okay.
It was coded electric. I unfortunately put it under equipment just on the spreadsheet, so apologize.
Okay.
I see that Wilcox, South Hill Road signal, that
Yep.
must be their
year to date.
Okay.
Yep, they're working on finalizing the plans. I talked with Jeff Murdoch last week. They're ready to bid it out to local companies.
Good. This morning when I was going to work, I saw the signals activated. And I saw somebody coming up to them. The train's coming up slowly from the yard heading to the south. I'm thinking, are they going to go or they're not going to go? And I think to myself, if I was put in that situation, I won't tell you what I would do. But needless to say, the car did go. I'm thinking, boy, I can't wait for that to finally be done. But on that situation there wasn't anything. Even the signal at the top of the hill wouldn't have done anything because it didn't activate until the person came around the corner. So it'd been too late anyway. But so good. I'm glad that's moving forward.
Yep.
Any other questions or comments?
I move we pay the bills.
I'll second.
Okay, a motion and supported by Commissioner Madden to pay the bills as presented. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Okay, next item will be the city manager's reports.
I have a few things tonight. I had a real nice visit from Robert Carlson. He lives in Escanaba, and he presented the city with this Golden Jubilee. He wanted to get this to us before this past year's 4th of July, but wasn't able to do that. But he was given this certificate from, it's a wooden nickel. There was an article in the paper, July 3rd, 2012, with him. But he wants to give it to the city, and he put it in this nice plaque here, and he thought if we mounted it, and displayed it here at the city, the residents could see.
That's neat.
From 125 years ago, a wooden nickel. So I promised him I would take good care of it and keep it here with the city and put it on display.
That is neat.
Other things, tomorrow we have our monthly DDA meeting at 7:30 and EDC at 11:30. The rest of my week, starting today, will be budget workshops with the department supervisors. It's where all their budgets come to me this week. And then we kind of put the whole picture together. So that's just the start of that process. At our next meeting, January 28th, we will set the budget workshops. So kind of have some dates in mind, maybe, for the January 28th commission meeting, we can get those set. An update on the ski hill and ice rink, our winter activities. We were open last Thursday afternoon for the after-school program, but after that it started to rain too much and we closed the hill Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We started making snow last night as soon as the temperature dropped. We will be open tomorrow night, at least the tube hill, for a tubing party. And weather cooperating, we should be back open now. Don't see any more rain in the forecast, hopefully. So as much as we can make snow, we have the guns going, as much as we can. Ice rink, same thing there. We were open shortly after Christmas there. We were very busy and found out today that Escanaba didn't open any of their rinks. So that's why we've been more busy than normal. If you haven't seen the ice rink down here, we were donated some boards from Bessie Forest Products, and we installed those this year for the first time. We just got them actually, so this was the first year we had a chance to put them in. Got quite a bit of compliments on that. It really breaks where the kids play hockey in the boards as opposed to the open skating. So it really puts a good separation on the whole thing down there. So hoping to be back, the ice rink back open in the next couple days as well. Last week, Nicole and I and several staff members attended the initial meetings with the engineers for the harbor project, the new docks. Got the timeline on that done. We are going ahead. We signed another mini agreement or whatever it's called. That goes back to waterways, so the engineer's working on moving that forward. Should be able to put those new docks in May and be open, the new docks open to everybody by June 1st, but any docks in the west end that we're not touching, those will be available May 15th like normal. the new stuff shouldn't affect, the other boaters there. And then the other initial meeting was the sports park plan. That was scheduled for December 19th when we got how many inches of snow and everything was canceled. So that was rescheduled to last Thursday. Had a real good, at least 2-hour meeting, just going over the 3 different parts of it, the history, provided them with a lot of maps. So that is moving forward as well. And the other thing I have for my evaluation there, I did join as of January 1st, Maligma. That was one of the managers' companies that are, specifically for managers. And then I signed up for their winter conference is January 29th through February 1st, the last week of this month. So January 28th is the commission meeting. Then Tuesday morning, I am sharing rides with Caroline Kennedy from MML. She attends the Maligma meetings as well. So we'll share the expense of the ride down there and get some good information from the classes.
Is that in Lansing?
Rochester.
Rochester. Good.
So that's all I have.
Did you have a good break over the holidays?
Yes.
Good.
Enjoyed our little grandson.
Good. Grandson.
15 months old. Oof. Been a while since my kids were 15 months old. So keeps you busy.
Good. All right, we're going to move on to the City Commission, City Committee reports. Do we have anything? I know it's been kind of a little bit of a lull period, obviously, the holidays. Anything?
Pretty quiet. I know we have our landfill annual meeting tomorrow, or Wednesday night. But yeah, it's been quiet.
I know we have there's a joint governmental meeting coming up on Wednesday. I didn't get a chance to open to see what the agenda is for. Anybody remember opening? I didn't open it up. I saw that it was going to be coming up, but I didn't see the agenda. But if anybody can attend, it's noon at City Hall in Escanaba.
I try and attend those, but I will not be able to attend that one.
I will not be able to either. I with the budget meeting schedule with staff, I won't be able to attend this month either.
I'll be in Lower Michigan, so I won't be able to attend either. So if we get somebody from our commission to be able to attend, that'd be great.
When was that again?
It's Wednesday, this Wednesday at noon, City Hall.
In Escanaba.
Yep, in Escanaba, sorry.
Okay, the joint governmental meeting.
Yep, the joint governmental meeting.
Since we're on the committees, I was asked to mention something from the Parks and Recreation Board, which I do try and attend their meetings as well. This is from Nicole, our Parks and Recreation Director. I was hoping you could mention an appreciation or remark for UP Land Management, Bob Boss, John Swenson, who of course is no longer an employee of ours, and Skip would be Skip Kenna, he's the lead lineman in the electric department, for developing the cross-country ski trail at the sports complex. So thank you to those people. And I've been by there, and when there is snow on the ground, there are actually people who are using the cross-country ski trail.
I would imagine it would be, so that's good. It's good. Anything else?
We're going to have, as far as the City Hall Committee, we're going to have the walkthrough 8 o'clock Friday morning.
Yep.
With the HVAC contractor. And I believe Barry and other department heads are going to be there as well, go through the general maintenance and what we need to do and record-keeping requirements, et cetera, as far as the boilers go.
Good.
Heating system's been working pretty good.
Even the basement's relatively warm, and I'm kind of surprised. It's doing well.
Good.
I will say this as a member of that committee, that's largely Commissioner Gay's work that got that work done, and said it before, I'll say it again. Thank you.
Real good winner for those heaters.
All right, so we're gonna bypass the boards and commission reports.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You thanked besides the city employees? I didn't catch the name. For the ski.
UP Land Management, which I have to confess, I don't know who that is.
Okay.
Bob Bosk, he's a member of the Parks and Recreation Board, and I think he does I think he grooms the trail for them. John Swenson and Skip Kennedy.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Move on now to public comment. Okay. We'll move on now to commissioner comments. Commissioner Gay.
Question, there were some people that went through the ice. We were able to use the hovercraft?
We took it out there, went out on the ice, however, the people had gotten off by that point. So, I mean, we were called out there to assist, but we didn't end up utilizing it at that.
Did we get all the way to the scene with our unit? Did they take it via trailer, or did they take it over the ice?
Took it via trailer.
Oh, okay. You could go the other way too, right?
Sure. I think they just decided that the trailering might be
Faster.
quicker in that sense.
I guess I'm not sure. Where was it at exactly?
Just north of the Days River where they have the public access site, I believe.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
Okay. I saw, and I wasn't here at the last meeting, that the commission authorized to put a nativity scene out next Christmas. I'm giving compliments. So
No, I said if I was still here, which I won't be.
well, I was gonna say that.
Someone in
that's
the
something
audience showed up and asked what happened, because we used
Yes.
to do one.
Mrs. Michelle.
Mrs. Mishaw?
Mrs. Mishaw, thank you, that's what it was. Yeah.
I think that's a great thing, and I'm glad that was the consensus. Beyond that, I will be absent. I will be in Lansing, actually. At the same time she is, I'll be in Lansing next for the next meeting for the entire week for code update training, so I will not be present at the next commission meeting.
Okay.
That's it.
It's code update training. Should we excuse that or not? You know what that means.
It means code update training, doesn't it? What does it mean?
Well,
That
it
is something?
Needs more rules from Lansing.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what you mean?
Well, it used to be in Crystal Mountain.
Oh, really?
Thompsonville.
It used to be. Now it's on South Cedar and Lansing.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Figure you'll run into the governor when you're there?
he don't want to run into me.
Okay.
I just can't help it.
You don't have to. You're free to speak your mind. We're in America, I
Absolutely.
believe.
So next meeting you'll be absent and excused.
Thank you.
Very good. Commissioner Olson.
No, after the snow, it was kind of enjoyable driving around town, and the crew was loading the snow off the middle of Delta, and it's very, I gotta say that is a very smooth operation with those guys. They handle the equipment well, but they're moving. And that was the blower as well as the truckers. There's no cowboy in the equipment or anything. And then after that was finished watching them, I forget which street it was, I drove down and there was the Department of Public Works supervisor running the grader down the street and doing an excellent job of grading. That was fun watching that one too, with the wing out and blade down and everything.
And I can tell you that the previous grader operator told me when you get that wing out, you gotta be paying attention way behind you, right?
What's that?
You gotta pay attention way behind you when you get that wing out?
Once you go by, it don't matter.
That was your opportunity to say yes, but I guess, okay.
So thank you.
Good. Thank you. Commissioner Madden.
Just really a comment that Darla already spoke of, in regard to the ice rink, and it was just really nice to see all the young folks and adults really enjoying it. A few times I went there, it was being well used. It's just good to see. I just kind of reminiscing a little bit. Growing up as a kid, I mean, that's what we did. We played outside, you know, and it's just, you can have fun and enjoy it. It's just nice to see in the community people using that.
Were you skating when you said that? When you used it?
I was trying to.
You're trying to?
My ankles aren't as strong as they used to be. I've got more weight on them now.
Good.
That's all.
Thank you. Commissioner Mackey.
UP Economic Development Alliance, did you tell me you're going to that meeting on the 24th of January?
No.
On public television, they just had several folks who have gotten regional economic development alliance going right now. The city of Escanaba and the city of Marquette participated in it. Marquette's manager and one of their commissioners and somebody else, I can't remember right now, we're on talking about that, and that's kind of like where they're going now as opposed to individual communities.
Yep.
You participate now with our, or will be participating with our revolving loan fund regionally, right?
Had a meeting last Tuesday with Dennis West. He's the Northern Initiatives
Right. Yep.
person that was, they're the Region 1 fund manager now, so.
Along those lines, just before the commission meeting, and I feel free to bring this up, I got a phone call, I won't say who it was from, and I'll tell you right up front, I don't remember the particulars of what we did, so I'm going to put this on you, so this isn't a criticism or nothing, but they asked me what were the specifics of our recent land sale done by the water treatment plant. And why, this was the question they had, was this not posted publicly? And I said, I believe we have a policy in place that addresses that. So can you tell everybody what that policy is, so we all are?
Right, we have a policy on sale of city land. Any city-owned land, you know, anybody that's interested in it, even if we don't advertise our land for sale anywhere. The only land we have advertised is the sign on the property next to Family Dollar, because it's visible. You know, a little 28-foot lot that the city owns here, we're not going to put a sign on that, you know. We mentioned at the meeting, have been working with Josh King, the president, and now soon to be owner of that property for well over a year. It was a smaller parcel, and over time it grew to, you know, the bullpen area, and he's even looking for more. So we're, you know, what other land in that area is available,
The main answer to the question, though,
city-owned.
is there's a policy in place, put in place
Yes.
by the commission.
Yep.
We followed the
Everybody
policy.
contacts me first if they're interested in any city-owned land. Then I flow it through a board. If it's EDC land, we go through the EDC board, staff.
I got the call just before I was walking in the meeting, and I confessed to the person, I said, I'm working off of memory here, because I don't have anything in front of me.
Yeah,
But I said, I think we have a policy in place. I'm sure we came up with a land sales policy, and the manager followed the policy, and so that would be my answer.
Yep. And we even had, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Tomorrow, I'm going to the DDA meeting. I put together a memo to the DDA board chairperson, who is Dave Hearn. I gave a copy to the manager beforehand. What I'm going to be doing tomorrow is I'm going to be encouraging the DDA to consider coming up with some kind of a major project to market the downtown area, and perhaps change the way they have been spending some of their annual revenue they receive. Maybe perhaps doing a project that will require some incurring some debt and paying that debt off with their ongoing revenues. I think that it is possible that if the right project were picked, that the downtown would be a more attractive area for business, because right now it's not particularly attractive for business. You can witness that by the store closures or the buildings that are vacant, and so I would like the DDA to consider that. I'd like it to be a friendly conversation about how we can do things together, because I guess the biggest thought in my mind is that staff has done all they can to reduce expenditures, and I salute staff for reducing expenditures, but I think we need to try and enter into a phase where we increase revenues, not by raising more millage. We've had that conversation several times, but by getting growth to occur, and I think that that's the only way to go forward if we're going to not have to make large cuts in services that have traditionally been expected. So I'm going to be attending the DDA board meeting tomorrow morning at 7:30, and I'm going to set an alarm so I make sure I get out of bed tomorrow, because I intended to attend some time ago and I didn't get out of bed. And then we had one meeting with, I think I said this maybe at our last meeting, with some of our public safety officers on PULC negotiations, just to sit down and talk. Commissioner Gay, you were new to that. I thought it went really well. I would hope you feel the same way. I thought we had a very open and honest conversation with our officers about where we are, where we're trying to go. I think this is kind of related to that. Our director was at the meeting for a while, and then he had to leave. We have a separate meeting coming up on that with the sergeant, who's in a separate bargaining unit. But along those lines, I copied an article out of the Detroit News about Michigan struggles with police cutbacks, and you can go through all the communities that have had to cut back on police. And one of the things we're talking about with our officers is how can we do more than we're doing right now. And so that might be how we go forward in negotiations with POLC. But again, I would say that it was a very good first meeting with our people. I think everybody, I would hope, and I'm pretty sure that our people appreciate being able to sit down and talk to us about where we are, so we're not playing any games. So.
I have a couple of things just to follow up on the phone call you received. Was there a concern about how the sale of the property,
Yes.
or that they weren't allowed, the person wasn't allowed to bid on the property?
They didn't say that, but I expect a phone call tomorrow from this party, and so I'll follow up. But I wanted to make sure that as I get older, it's hard to remember.
See, one of the things
that
I
I remembered that we had a policy in place and that we followed it.
Yeah. One of the things that concerns me is when we do decide to sell a piece of property, I think that if we're not advertising what pieces of property that we're selling, I think it's obvious that we would be in the market to sell some property if we have growth wanting to come in. I think we'd be remiss if once we decide that we are looking as a commission, looking to sell a piece of property for that growth to come in, to now put that out there to see if we have challenging bids when it's been laying out there dormant for how many years. So I think as long as we are following the policy, the procedure that the commission has put in place, which I believe we did on this particular piece of property, I don't think it behooves us to put it out after we get notification by a person or a company that wants to purchase property to see now, well, let's put it out there for bids, because then what may happen is this person who originally was looking to move here may decide, well, if that's how you want to do business, and
I'll take my business
I'll take my business elsewhere if you're trying to bleed me dry for every single dollar.
Yep.
So I guess I feel that we as a commission and Ms. Falcon did the right thing on that piece of property, and I think we would continue to conduct our sales of property the same way. I don't think we've done anything wrong.
Well, I encourage the party to contact me after I got more information, that I don't feel anybody does anything that is secretive around here, that we conduct business above board, and so that was my answer. I just wanted to make sure we were all on the same page, we all know where we're at on this.
Good, very good, thank you. I do have a couple of things. One, I know the budget is coming up. I know it's everybody's favorite thing to talk about. And, I'm going to throw a couple of challenges out there for Ms. Falcon and her staff, and they're probably going to cringe. But the first challenges I want to put out there is finding a way that we can have our commission meetings televised live again. I do keep getting requests that they wish that we'd have our commission meetings televised live again.
I hear that a lot too.
Yep. And we're here supposed to be representing the people, and that's what they're requesting. I guess we try to find a way that we might be able to do it. At least try to find a way. Can't guarantee it, but at least we're going to try. The second thing is I like to challenge, and Director Geyer's probably not going to like when I bring this, but I like to challenge Ms. Falcon and the staff to try to figure out a way that we can bring in another officer to public safety. I worked last week with Sergeant Larson, and he spent the entire day on a case. And it was a very good case, and he did an outstanding job, but it took up one of our officers his time all day long, to the point where it carried his action over to Escanaba that I worked with him. And it doesn't serve any purpose if we're not able to afford the services that people are expecting us to be able to provide, even at the public safety level. I mean, we're doing it for our electric customers, we're doing it for our water, wastewater customers, public works customers, and also our parks and recreation customers. I think we're probably not doing justice for our public safety customers. And
That's pretty much what we talked about, so.
Oh.
But how do we do it creatively?
Well, I think that's why there's a challenge. I have some ideas, but usually Ms. Falcon and the staff doesn't like to hear my ideas, so we'll leave it for another day. But I have some thoughts on it anyway, but that's for some discussion. But I know at least we're putting it out there in the forefront so you guys can start looking
Well-
at it and try to tweak it.
You came up with a good thought on that, and after the meeting, I think you should, because I thought your idea was a great idea, and I'll bet they're probably going to be about the same thing.
Probably somewhere. Yeah, you can see the resemblance, we think alike.
I didn't think you looked alike.
So those are two challenges I like to put out there for the staff. The other thing too, the ice. Everybody, please be careful going on the
Absolutely,
ice. I've dove under the ice. I've walked on the ice. I fell through the ice, and I'm here to tell you, once you go down, it is a sinking feeling that you're not going to come back up. Thank God when it happened, we were diving, so you're prepared for it. But when public safety gets, Paul, you and your staff, please be careful. We go out there with the hovercraft. I'm sure you take all the precautions necessary, but be careful. And I know there's nobody watching now, but there will be at the end of the week. Please, just remember it's a fish.
I talked with the volunteer chief today, and was it tonight they were doing training on the ice? Tomorrow night they're doing training on the ice?
So, other than that, that's all I have. Hope everybody's holidays was nice. All goes by quick.
Days are getting longer? More
Shorter.
sunshine?
Shorter.
Longer.
Oh, I'm sorry. The nights are getting shorter. Days are getting longer. Yeah.
We're getting more
Yeah.
sunshine.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Exactly.
Well, I'm up at 5:30 in the morning. They're still long, no matter which way you look at it. So, all right. That's all I have. Is it okay if we adjourn now? Okay, we're adjourned.